but the Netflix Open they did with the screen talking about
Way
like
too
they
cool.
tell you it's a work.
And Triple
this
H
is
is
about
like
the face and the heel, and then it drops and it's Triple H. To me, I was like emotional watching that and thought that that was one of the most important like 5 minutes in wrestling history. Flat out. And I feel like it got criticism from people that were like, why don't you just tell them it's fake? It is. It's fucking fake.
What are you talking about? They know that.
We know.
We saw it together.
Yeah, stop.
We watched it. We watched it. That was the first episode.
Like
I don't get that. Like there's
it's way cooler. Like that was legit one of the greatest things I've ever seen, dude.
I just don't get the. It's like the secrets of the business aren't a secret anymore.
No, they haven't been since like the Attitude Era. We started to know, and now there's social media.
Yeah.
And so I just love. That's one of the smartest.
It opens
things
up
that Triple
social
H
media
has
too
done.
for a lot of these guys.
Wide open, dude. Triple H. They just posted on WWE and stuff. Him on the phone with Speed going, you come to Rumble and you can live stream on your Twitch stream and shit and just walk around backstage. You can hang out next to me in gorilla position. We have literally never seen that.
Yeah.
If you watch the Twitch stream of Speed, you're going to get to see during production gorilla position WWE. That
so
has
cool.
never been shown. You'd have to kill me to stop me from watching that. As somebody who's been watching wrestling hard since I was like 4.
Yeah, we want to know that.
I've never seen
We
it.
want to know that.
I'm 36.
Yeah.
I must see that.
Yeah, we want to see the back scenes, behind the scenes.
It doesn't hurt the product.
No,
at
it
all.
doesn't. And then there's like videos of like Triple H working with like Nakamura on his entrance or whatever, and he's
Love
like,
it.
"We need the lights
Love it.
here, and like you need to be loaded here." And it's like, dude, this is the perfect type of behind the scenes shit that like everybody wanted to see it. No one said no, please don't show me that. Like
everyone's been
who's
begging
saying
for it forever. We want to know. We want to know. And it's like people like us get to even have our show because I've never worked in the industry. None of us have ever worked in the industry.
No.
But the industry is such a huge part of my life. I've been following wrestling hard since I was
it's like I want to know more about
memories. So like
The more I can learn about it, the better. You know?
I feel like I know anything about wrestling, and it's not because I just am some delusional prick who thinks I know everything about wrestling.
Yeah.
I know enough to know that I know nothing compared to the guys that live it every day of their lives in the industry, and I have infinite respect for them and a thank you to them for being willing to show the stuff they do so that people like us know as much as we do.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And coming from myself as a delusional prick that thinks he knows a lot about basketball, that knows he doesn't know shit about wrestling, one of the things I always worry about is that the more we get like mask off and behind the scenes is like one of my thoughts is, well, does the magic disappear? And I'm here to answer that for everybody.
Yeah.
No.
Fuck
It
no.
does not.
Look at WrestleMania 40 with Cody. It's one of the greatest moments in wrestling history.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could even just point to you think about the first time that I saw, I don't know if we've all been to live wrestling events. The first time I ever saw the actual WWE ring,
like in
person, I bawled my eyes out. And I'm not even that huge of a fan. And even now, like we saw it when we were watching Raw, or it was either Raw or SmackDown when Biker Taker came out. Literally, the entire room of adults that were having a conversation just went silent. You could hear a mouse piss on yarn, dude.
Yep,
because Undertaker, the gong hit mid-syllable. It just went. Even the dog stopped barking.
Yeah,
dude. Like
everybody's
like,
glued on the screen.
Yeah. So people that say they're worried about like learning too much about it, it doesn't. No. There's two parts. There's two parts of it. There's two parts of it.
There's so much room for you to have people that know everything there is to know about it, and it will never matter because they're fans.
And we know what it is.
Have you give them the magic?
Yeah, and the biggest thing is we know it's a show. Like we want to see behind the scenes. It's just like with any show that we watch. It's like when I watch Seinfeld, it's like I want to see bloopers or something. Like that's fun to watch. You know, like
Seinfeld was live.
Seinfeld.
What?
No, is it live? It was a studio audience.
Well, that doesn't.
That doesn't count,
Come
though.
on.
Oh, it's not like an SNL.
But it does count though. Here's the thing.
SNL is.
That's not even. But that's not even what we're talking about. Like live and tape doesn't really matter as much as it's just the fact that you're watching a show that's a written fiction.
Yeah.
And then you want to see behind the scenes interviews
Yeah,
with
of course
guys
you
and
do.
stuff. You want to see behind the curtain.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt the. It's like
Like,
it's not like Wizard of Oz. Everybody always says like they're afraid of the Wizard of Oz
Yeah.
effect, where if you see behind the curtain and you see that
It
it's just some
ruins it.
dude
Yes,
and ruin
yeah.
it, we've already had that curtain ripped down, burned, and have had people that have never been in the business
Yeah.
running the machine.
Yeah.
So like it's not gonna be a problem, you know?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like I want to just always. That's the comparison to me. It's like if I watch Sunny, I want to watch bloopers. Like that sometimes is funnier to me.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
that's why I think sometimes the backstage, like that stuff grabs me sometimes more than what's actually presented as the show.
Mhm.
In wrestling, there's a lot of guys like Eric Bischoff says all the time that, and you know, it is what it is. He's been in the industry for decades, so he's in a different spot than anybody we
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But he's always open about how like the storylines and stuff, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. He's way more intrigued by the actual business because of the insight he has. And so he's not even worried about whether it's a work or a shoot or any of that stuff.
Right.
He's like, I want to know what their attendance was and shit.
Mhm.
And that just shows you there's so much to it that there's stuff there for everybody. You know what I
Right.
mean? There's stuff there for everybody.
Yeah. We got to get Bischoff on the show.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
It's one of those things where
I would love to
the
talk to
more
Bischoff.
the more popular it gets, like it's just gonna get bigger, especially now that it's on Netflix. And it's instead of getting nervous about it, I'm like literally getting goosebumps thinking about like what is next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year is gonna be fucking insane, and
it's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be this is
incredible.
gonna be the worst. This is gonna be the best year in a long time, but it's also gonna be the worst year for a while, if that makes sense.
It does.
Like it's only gonna get better from here,
yes.
which is crazy to think.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I was already bought in 100%, just the move to Netflix and then Penta's debut. The fucking, when I was on here the last time, it was literally pretty much a live reaction to him doing the front flip pile driver,
yeah.
which everyone knows is my favorite thing in the world. And I
Canadian destroyer.
Yeah.
Or Mexican,
Mexican
destroyer.
Yeah.
destroyer.
Which is fair.
Either
That's
or.
fair.
I didn't know what to
Mexican.
call it. I picked the 2K,
destroyer.
the 2K name.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Canadian destroyer.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
But yeah, lost my mind, and that's like
It's so
the magic
beautiful.
will never leave because I see a wrestler I've never seen before do a Canadian destroyer, and immediately I'm screaming.
And
I'm
here's-
almost 30. Like,
And here's a really good point I just thought of to that too. Part of what it gave me personally, as someone who's watched it my entire life, is a different level of appreciation for the wrestlers.
Yep.
Because they're no longer just a character to me. They are both the character they play in the ring and the real person behind the scenes and what it takes from them to do it.
Yeah.
How
and
hard
it-
the
and it-
job is and how high risk it is.
It also shows you like the contrast between who they are and who their character
like
is.
I have such a ridiculous amount of respect for like 99% of pro wrestlers because of how much I know now about how hard that job is.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where it's like so few people in the world can do what they do at the level
Oh,
they
yeah.
do it
And it isn't easy to do. So
No. and deal with the fame.
it takes a lot of like, dude, they go through a lot of training for this.
Oh,
The other thing,
it's
too,
their
is-
whole life. They're always developing.
Yeah.
I never learned until I was older that it's not like you just are on Raw or you just are on SmackDown. You're doing shows almost every day, more days often than
At
not.
one point,
Yeah.
they have finally started to chill out on the live show schedule.
Well, and that's
That's
why you
good.
don't see like the same storyline twice in
Yeah.
2 weeks. So like
that's right.
it's really cool because so like I just watched Drew McIntyre and Sheamus on Hot Ones. They did like Hot Ones versus
I watched it. That was awesome.
and one of them was like, "You're off for the next whatever days," and it's like they have separate schedule. Like they
Yeah.
all have separate schedules.
Yes.
Because it's like this guy doesn't work until Raw the next week or whatever.
Yep.
And that is really good for these guys because
It
it's
is.
way more time
He
off.
gets to fucking be home and raise a family. And
Yeah.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H being in charge, that's a big deal to him.
Yeah.
They pre-taped a show that was supposed to be around Christmas because he was like, I'm not making these guys be away from their families on Christmas. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Go be with you. Like, you deserve to be with your families. Go be with your families. We'll pre-tape. We'll play the pre-tape. Who cares?
Yeah.
What a legend, dude.
Oh my god!
I'll tell you
I'm
one
so
thing,
glad
There
he's
couldn't be
going
there
into the
couldn't
Hall
be
of
a
Fame.
better person.
He's going into the Hall of Fame, and
And
that's
Triple
so
H now,
huge.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Solo.
That's huge. I can't
It's-
believe that even wasn't the thing for the first.
I was
Yeah, it's right
shocked
there.
way beyond overdue.
Um,
because he was originally only in with DX, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.